All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Now, today wraps up day 18 of the Aaron Hernandez murder trial. Today, we finish hearing testimony from Tyrone Crawford, which, yesterday he testified he really couldn't remember much of anything. And today was no different. He couldn't recall, he didn't remember, he wasn't sure, he thinks so. That was the theme of his testimony. And Pierre, the guy that testified after him, was no different. I mean, he couldn't recall anything. I believe he was allegedly in the car when Alexander Bradley was shot, but he just couldn't recall anything. So he was no help for the prosecution. Now, however, if you notice during Tyrone Crawford's testimony, the prosecutor kept referring back to a previous testimony from Tyrone Crawford. He said, well, when you said this here, do you remember? Did this refresh your memory? He kept saying no, and he wasn't sure. I think the game plan for the prosecutor, well, the reasoning behind the prosecutors to show the jury that these guys know more than what they're saying. They're hiding something. I'm assuming that was the game plan because he kept referring back to their grand jury testimony. But in trial, when they were in court, they couldn't recall anything. And D, the football player, he testified yesterday, and he was no help either. He couldn't recall much. He said he was intoxicated, and most of them said they were intoxicated. Tyrone Crawford said that he was under the heavy influence of drugs and alcohol, and that's affecting his memory. So that's all we have really today. It wasn't much going on today. I'm going to get to Baez and the judge in a minute, but other than that, there was nothing really to talk about much today. Aaron Hernandez friend testified. He was kind of like, an assistant to Aaron Hernandez. Now, I believe we will pick up with more of his testimony tomorrow because it ended with him. He's not really saying much either. He just said that Aaron Hernandez hired him on to be an assistant. He said he didn't really go out to the clubs much with Aaron Hernandez, maybe a bar here and there. But that's all he really much said today. Now, there is some reports that DJ Hernandez will be taking the stand sometime soon. I didn't see him in court today. I remember the camera kept panning to a guy in the courtroom, but that wasn't DJ Hernandez. DJ Hernandez looks, there's a striking resemblance to Aaron. You could tell they brothers once you see them, and he wasn't in the courtroom. And I'm not sure why the prosecutor may call DJ Hernandez. I don't really anticipate DJ Hernandez giving up any information that'll harm his brother in court. I really don't think so. This is his little brother on trial here. So I don't know the reasoning behind calling DJ Hernandez for. I don't know. There's some speculation that Shayana Jenkins may testify. She was in court today, but I don't know. I haven't read any indication that she's gonna testify. Maybe so, I don't know. But it looks like she's prepared. It looks like the gentleman that was sitting with her may be a lawyer or something, or maybe a family member. I'm not sure. Now, just to get to Jose Baez for a second, the jury wasn't present for this. Well, Jose Baez and the judge, they kind of got into it a little bit. Now, Jose Baez said that the judge raised his voice at him while the jury was present and kind of looked down at him. He said that was inappropriate. I didn't witness that because the stream was kind of shoddy for me today. It was just kind of jumping back and forth, so I missed that. But I did hear the exchange between Jose Baez and the judge, because Jose Baez brought up a concern. At some point, the judge had the court reporter play back some audio recording, and he was saying that Jose Baez didn't object to a certain portion of that interview on the stand. So there was some back and forth there, and the motion, Jose Baez did actually win that objection. The judge said he'll go back and object a certain point. And Then Jose Baez said that if you want me to stop, if I can't defend my client here, maybe I'll just sit down and he'll find another lawyer. I thought that was a little bit inappropriate for Jose Baez, but however, this is a very serious case here. And it's serious for all parties, the prosecution and the defense. Here's the pressure that the prosecution have. Family want justice here. There's two separate families in the courtroom that come every day. They're looking for justice. And on the other side of that, you have attorneys representing a client that is facing the life in prison without the possibility of parole, even though he's already serving that from a previous case. So it's serious. I know that tempers are going to flare, but I don't know. I can't think of another case where the judge and the defense attorneys, acted in such a manner. I can't really think of a time. A lot of people say it's inappropriate for the defense, so I understand your take on that. So, but they got it straightened out. So far, a lot of people saying the judge is being biased, and but I thought he was fair today. He did say to Jose Baez, okay, I will object that, and he did kind of apologize to the jury when they came back into the courtroom. So I thought he was fair there. Like I said, I'm not a judge. I was never trained to be a judge. Right now, the judge is fair. The judge is very stern though, to the defense. At times he could be stern to the prosecution. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna hold my comments on the judge there. At the end of the day, I'm just giving my comments. I'm not a judge. So now, as it stands right now, this is Tuesday. Maybe the prosecution may end their case on Friday. I don't know. It doesn't look that way. I don't know how many other people they have to come as a witness. I don't know. A lot of people, again, like I said, they're speculating that Shayana Jenkins may testify. Some people are saying DJ Hernandez. There was a report that DJ Hernandez wasn't going to testify. So I don't know. I'm just kind of watching it like everyone else. And I'm giving my opinions. And also, if you want to watch the trial, I watch it on live stream. And you could download the app. I'm sure they have. I have it on iOS, but I'm sure you can download the app on Android. And I watched the trial live on live stream. So, but I also go back and refer to the video on YouTube as well. I listen to Lady Justice. She has a good channel. You can go back and watch all the archive cases. You can also watch the case, his first case. I believe Casey Anthony case is on there. There's a lot of other cases. And I'm watching a case right now I have to give an update on as well. That's Marquis Floyd. So I'll do that later. He was back in court today, so. But as far as Aaron Hernandez right now, this case could go either way, okay? In my opinion, like I said, I'm just giving my opinion. It could go either way. To be honest with you, after listening to these guys testify, they know more than what they're leading on. They know more than what they're saying in court. I don't know what happened that night to Alexander Bradley. And then we also had a investigator testify today saying that they didn't really cover the crime scene that well. And there's a lot of things he couldn't recall. I'm referring back to when Alexander Bradley got shot. So we heard from him briefly. And the last person that testified today was Aaron Hernandez's friend from grammar school and high school. And he said they rekindled their friendship once Aaron Hernandez got drafted. And he said there was a situation where his father he was working for his father, and he said his father couldn't continue with the business because of a neck surgery. Then Aaron Hernandez hired him as an assistant. So that's where we left off today. Now, getting back to what I was saying, the case could go either way. I want to stress that the state always have the burden of proof. Just because you think someone is guilty doesn't mean they should get convicted. And I know I know what you're saying, and man, that's the case. Could that be the case with O.J. Simpson? Could that be the case with Casey Anthony? A lot of people say yes, but it's certain things that happened in their case, and there was an acquittal. In this case, I know what you're saying, that it looks like Aaron Hernandez shot these two people, but that's if you believe solely Alexander Bradley's testimony. The deleted text messages is an issue for me. It's a very big issue for me. Deleted text message. He wanted to make sure he had an immunity deal before he testified. That's really an issue for me. Here's another issue I'm going to close with. I understand Alexander Bradley said that, he always should tell Aaron Hernandez to calm down. And, we heard from a witness yesterday. He used to be a club promoter. He said he witnessed Alexander Bradley say, okay, I'll take care of it. On that fateful night, Alexander Bradley said that, when they got back in the trunk, Aaron Hernandez popped the hood to get his gun, and they raced up to the BMW. As a friend, would you have raced up to that BMW and your friend has a gun in his hand, and you know how volatile he is? Allegedly, you're saying he's so volatile and you always have to calm him down. Would you even follow the BMW, or would you just say, listen, calm down, it's okay, you're an NFL football player, calm down, please calm down, let's go home, let's smoke some whatever you smoking, calm down, relax? Wouldn't you say that? Or would you just, okay, yeah, let's go up to the car, let's see what's going on? Would you do that if you're the driver? Aren't you a grown man? Don't you have the power to say no to your friend? If you're a good friend, listen, we're not going to follow this BMW. No, that's it. No, enough is enough. We're going home. That's what I'm struggling about. He was the driver. This man has a gun in his hand. What do you think this man's going to do? What do you think this man, I understand, to be fair, maybe he didn't think Aaron allegedly was going to shoot these people. Let's say, I'm just going over Bradley's testimony. Maybe he didn't think this was going to happen, but I believe in Murphy's Law. I believe if something could potentially go wrong, it can go wrong. If I have a volatile friend, he's high and he's not in his right mind, and he has a pistol in his hand, he said, go up to this car, I'm not going to do it. Period. I'm not going to do it. That's why I'm struggling here. That's why I'm struggling. I'm just speaking for myself. Like I said, I can't speak for Alexander Bradley, but I can only ask questions. Why pursue this car if he has a gun in his hand? Or, the gun in the glove compartment. Why would you do it? Because if you believe in Murphy's Law, anything can happen. If you think it can happen, it can happen. And why not turn around and say, look, Aaron, let's go home. Let's do that. Or he could possibly be the shooter. That's what I'm thinking. So, I know what you guys are going to say. One person said, Max, you need to use your common sense. You need to, if you use your common sense, Aaron is guilty. Trust me, I don't went through every scenario that I can possibly go through. I even been through a scenario that will incriminate Aaron Hernandez. But then I started thinking about it. I have to think about all the other angles. I'm like, wait a minute, Bradley could be the shooter here. Bradley is also involved in another shooting, in a separate shooting where he shot at people. Thank God nobody died in that. But if I'm the juror, I'm saying, okay, this guy was involved in a separate shooting. What's to say that he didn't shoot that night? That's all I'm saying. So if I'm thinking this as a juror, I cannot convict. I just can't. Because any person in their right mind, if they have a volatile friend that's just like, he could do whatever, and he has a gun in the glove compartment, he said, yeah, follow these cars. And what would you be thinking in your mind? The first thing I'm thinking, I got to diffuse this situation. No, we're not going to that car. That's just me. I know what you guys are going to say. Well, Alexander Bradley is not that type of individual. Aha, I got you there. Okay. What do you mean he's not that type of individual? To not turn that car around and calm Aaron down. What do you mean he's not that type of individual? You know why you're saying that? Because he possibly could have shot that night. If he's not that type of individual, then I'm going to think he could possibly be the shooter as well. Okay, so this case is different from the Odin Lloyd case. Okay, they didn't have to prove Aaron pulled the trigger in the Odin Lloyd case. In this case, they do. They do have to prove it. Okay, being that Alexander Bradley testified, they have to prove it. Now, if the jury is not sure about Alexander Bradley or Aaron Hernandez, they cannot convict here. They cannot. So I'm going to say it again. If it was me, if I had a friend that night and he put the gun, he popped his trunk. Where I'm from, when people pop the trunk, they get ready to do something. Okay, my friend just popped the trunk, got his pistol, put it in the glove compartment, is telling me to go follow this BMW. I'm telling you right now, as you're listening to me, I would not have followed that BMW. And I know what you're going to say again. You're not Alexander Bradley. Okay, I got you there. Being that you're saying that Alexander Bradley probably wouldn't be thinking like that, what's to say that Alexander Bradley didn't pull the trigger? Okay? So that's all I'm saying here. We don't know. I know if you say you use your common sense, you're going to say, look, man, he did it. I get it. I went through that scenario already. But I also have to think about other scenarios here, because something is not adding up. There's something that's being left out here. There's stuff that's being left out in Florida. There's stuff that's being, trust me, I can tell you, I can guarantee you right now, at least 20 people knew exactly what happened that night that's affiliated with Aaron Hernandez. They know what happened in Florida, and they knew what happened in Boston. I can guarantee you that something is being left out here. Okay? That man knew if he wouldn't have testified, he would be a Cody in this case right now. Something is being left out. That's all I can say. I'm just giving you my opinion, and whatever my opinion is, take it for what it's worth. But if it was me that night, I'm not, and I know this man has a history of blowing up for no reason. You mean a fan saying you lost me money and it was almost an issue over that? And now he's saying that people are trying, this guy is following him, and he just get his weapon and put in the glove compartment and telling me to go follow this car. What do you think he's going to do? What do you think in that scenario would you say to yourself? No, you're not going to follow that BMW. That's all I got to say. So we are here, more testimony tomorrow. And I look forward to your comments. I really do. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, I really do appreciate the comments. And I try to answer everyone back. I think I'm doing a good job of that. If you comment, I will reply. I guarantee it. I will reply. So, and I look forward to that. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but I still want to hear from you. I want to hear why you disagree. All right, guys. That's all I have for today, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see if DJ Hernandez testify, and we'll see if Shayana Jenkins testify, and who else. We don't know the other witnesses that we have. You know, they even mentioned Bill Belichick. We haven't heard from him. He was a possible witness. Remember, in the beginning of the trial, they said he could be a possible witness. We haven't heard from him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, okay? Look forward to your comments. All right, guys, if you enjoy my content, please share with your family and friends, and also don't forget to hit the subscription button. All right, guys, until next time, take care.